Take me home, I wanna know if you're down, ready to go. Wanna fly away with you, float away, fly away.
Hello and welcome to the Roadshow. Motherfuckers. Do you know, I've met a lot of people in this fucking industry and it's been a fucking roller coaster of a ride. Up and down, side to side, roll around on yourself. Sometimes you feel like you're going to fucking fall off, you know, like that feeling like the rail's not in place. That's how it's felt so far. But on this journey, there's some people on the roller coaster that make you feel way worse because they're screaming alongside you. But there's some that make you feel really, really comfortable. And motherfucking Raj Shah, sitting across from me right now, is one of those people that makes you feel comfortable.
Damn, man, feels like a Drake intro when he went into like the fire in the booth thing. It's just like so much hype.
Dude, you deserve it, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You are the most unhyped, should be hyped person in fucking Perth. And we're going to make sure that you get the hype you deserve.
Eventually. But firstly, man, I really appreciate you getting me on because I wouldn't really do this unless it was someone I really knew. So the fact that I'm here, like you're already like, you know, you're that close to me. So I appreciate it.
Well, we're friends, bro.
For sure.
You know, like it's you meet people in this industry, but you meet people in life. And I just think like we vibe because like you're a pretty, you know, authentic person and you kind of don't like to put up with people's shit, and I like that too.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? So I think that we've created a bond, and
I'm with that. Yeah,
we're doing cool
it's
things.
a good way to explain it. It's true.
Fuck yeah. So bro, you've done some wild shit recently, and a lot of people they haven't given you the appreciation you deserve. I'm not going to name names. I'll leave that to you if you want to do that, but I'm not going to.
Let's not do that.
But like it's quite honestly disrespectful, and the work that you do put in, the hours, the sheer amount of fucking emails I've seen that you put out is like incredible, and like you fucking they should be bound to their fucking knees to you, bro, but they don't, and it's gonna show soon.
Yeah, let's see. But each to their own, I guess. Like it is what it is. I'm here for the love of the music, obviously, and I'm doing it for my own career. Like it's not a 1-2 year thing that I'm trying to do. I want to get to the age of 40, 50, 60 years old doing things in the music business.
Yes.
So that's really the case. But I mean, most influential people in the music industry that are not artists have barely been known. Like, I don't know, do you know the Universal Music Group CEO, Lucien Grange? So you would know it because you're in the music industry, but it's not a big name unless you've memorized Drake lyrics, for example. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I kind of get where it's from, but it's one of those things where because there's so much success involved when you're moving from nothing to a lot, it's hard to share it around. People want to do things in a way that it feels like they're the ones who made it happen. Mm-hmm. So whether it is, you know, me making it happen for someone else or whether someone else did something for me, it doesn't really matter because we're all trying to get to the same goal. Whether it's for a release or for like the maximum, you know, the macro goal, we're all trying to get to the same place. But everyone's got help from somewhere. Someone's done something for you somewhere else, so it's helpful. Like, I can't say that I've learned all this myself. Obviously, I've watched books, I've watched videos, I've read books, gotten help from people in the industry, gotten advice from people in the industry, and then you build on that knowledge. Yeah. So my success isn't mine, but it is also mine. It's kind of like both, you know, you have to give props to everyone around you that helps you with something. But, you know,
I agree to an extent, but if you're going forward with a career in the music industry and you meet someone that helps you phenomenally, right? And then you think that you're going to progress further without giving them any kind of respect. Do you think they're going to work with you again? I don't think so. If that person has any self-respect, they're not going to fucking feel like shit again because you didn't make them, like, you didn't hype them up. They They literally took your shit and made you fucking a little bit more popular. Well, from it, getting you millions. If like some people have got millions, other people, because it's multiple people that have done this now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's just.
It
Again,
doesn't
some
matter.
people are
It
loud,
doesn't
some people
matter.
aren't. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What the fact of the matter is, I'm getting at is you know people in the industry. They're cutting ties by not giving you respect. Because why would you work with them again if you're not getting respect, right? It doesn't feel good to work with that person, you know? Then they're cutting themselves off because you know more people. Every time you work with someone, you're getting that contact. And it just doesn't make sense. But let's digress. Because I've got a fucking ton of questions for you, bro. So you've got a bunch of people that you manage. Well, a bunch. You've got a couple of artists.
Yeah, right now a couple.
You've got Roselle and you've got Fran. Those two guys are some of the most like world-changing artists.
Undeveloped talent.
Holy shit.
Developed, but unrealized potential.
Yeah, man. Like Fran on those beats is just...
Farhan's a crazy one because it's one of those. It just happened. It made sense because when I moved here, I was in obviously high school here from year 10 onwards. And
you guys met in high school,
yeah,
right?
so it was a weird thing because like a month in, I was hanging out with a few people, and just me and Farhan started talking in phys ed. I don't know why, but we were talking about EDM because Farhan had like a little bit of a phase listening to like trance and stuff as well.
That's electric dance music, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty much like, you know, there's because like Middle Eastern people actually love that sequential trance music and stuff quite a bit.
Right.
So we're talking about that, and then I just said, let's hang out for a bit. And then, you know, months in, we're listening to Waka Flocka albums in his dad's Lexus in the garage, parked up. We're just sitting in the car, parked up, like hands on the steering wheel, just parked up, bumping bass on that Waka Flocka, you know, Flocka Valley 2 and Triple F Life and stuff. Woo. And it's just one of those things where...
There's some hard tracks, bro.
Bro, Waka,
what
oh my God.
What the fuck? And how old were you?
I want to say about
Flocka.
14, 15.
God.
I mean, hip hop's been in me from, I guess, the age of like 8, 9.
Yeah, you're a lot like me then.
Yeah, because my sister used to listen to a bit of hip hop, but they only knew West Coast and then Jay-Z.
Yeah,
that's really what, you know, was popular in Kenya at the time, right?
Right.
So I got the gist of like 2001 Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and stuff. I actually barely even listened to any Biggie music until I moved here because it was so West Coast focused. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that commercial sounding thing because obviously the West, some people say the West made hip hop like commercial and stuff. So I grew up with that commercial sounding music.
Well, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. They have, you know, like the...
I guess it depends on who you ask because, you know, making the money from it.
Dre, all that kind of stuff came LA, you know, so...
But the big money came from Bad Boy because of all the brand deals and, you know, that stuff they did back when Biggie days. So it depends on where you ask, obviously, right? It just happened to be so that the Kenyan radio system for hip hop and R&B and stuff was very focused on West Coast, I guess, or at least I was, because I wasn't obviously allowed to buy a Birdman CD with face tats or some shit, right? I tried to do that once, but
you tried to do that?
Oh yeah, I tried to get so my first ever trip to India, it was like a CD era, right?
Okay.
I was probably like 11, 12 years old, and we walked in this thing called, I think it's called M Planet or Music Planet, whatever, you know, it's a CD shop.
In India?
Yeah, in India. Massive store, CDs everywhere.
Okay.
I'd filled a whole crate or, you know, shopping basket of just like CDs, and I'm like, I literally bought
just slip one in there?
Well, yeah, because I was trying to buy it was me and my sister sharing that cart for the most part, and she got to pick out a bit of the hip hop and the urban desi music and stuff.
Right.
And I think it was around the time where Born Stunner came out, or Carter, the Lil Wayne or the Birdman album, one of them. And I had it, I had it in the box. My mom's like, "What is this? This is weird. I don't know. You're not gonna listen to this." It's pretty funny. But yeah, like music has always been a thing. So moved back to Australia in about year 11, 12. When I was in Kenya, actually, I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to produce music and stuff. So I was learning how to produce on EDM, like trance music and stuff like that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So in high school, me and Farhan, like year 10, year 11, we used to link up at my house because we lived pretty close to each other. And then on a cracked FL and, you know, using some Dr. Dre loops and sample packs and stuff that I illegally got. We used to try to just make beats and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I stopped doing that and I stopped DJing. at the end of high school, you know, the first couple of years after high school, and Farhan went deep into it. So Farhan obviously had a
So
degree.
he's been at it for years.
Yeah, a little bit, because he was beatboxing and would try to recreate what he beatboxed with the.
That's why he can beatbox so well.
Farhan's been beatboxing since high school. Yeah,
Dude,
since I've known him.
I heard him when I was at his studio with Corey.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like he's good.
Farhan's been creative. I guess he only really realized that he was creative, you know, a couple of years later in his life. Maybe, you know, when you brought up, you sort of uncover your layers as you grow older, right? So he did a year, and I think a 2-year degree, like 3-year degree, did 2 years, didn't want to graduate, went to SAE, did production, right?
Yeah.
And he's been making music and all that. So we've obviously been talking about, we hang out, listen to music. Any new album that comes out, we're just, you know, bumping it together because we're in the same friend circle.
Yeah.
And then I knew he was producing music and sort of working with Sheldon at the first studio as well, just a little bit.
Oh, before it was Levels?
Before it was Levels, but there's 2 buildings or 2 venues before Levels. So this is way back in the day.
Oh, before it was at his house?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So before his house, and I think before his house, because I think he went to one studio, then his house, then house. Yeah. So I just happened to hit up Farhan one day. Like, what are you up to tonight? Let's link up.
So you
chill
guys
out.
weren't like hanging out all the time?
We always hung out, but then it was just one night. I was like, I'm doing nothing. And me and Farhan live close by, so we just walk around and go to the park in the night and have a night walk and just talk shit.
Yeah, cool.
And he's like, I'm going to this show. You know, have a feature with this Tyler Rivers guy, which is Sheldon.
Yeah.
That.
Shout out Tyler Rivers. I know that dude's dead, but like, I really miss that guy. He was hell good.
The brand Tyler Rivers. It's not even a person anymore.
I know. He died.
But yeah.
He fell off a cliff.
Oh my God.
Sheldon pushed him, bro. Wasn't cool.
God. He might come back. You never know. I've seen him like sort of like sing around and stuff every now and then in the studio.
Like sometimes I go and like visit the site where he fell off the cliff, and I like see his hand like come out the rubble a little bit. And I'm like, ooh, he could be still alive. And then I asked Sheldon, I'm like, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, I think he's passionate, but making music and releasing music is 2 different things, man. Like being an artist for the public and just being an artist for your hobby, or just wanting to sing and make music.
He was so good, man.
He was. He could carry melodies really well.
Yo, dude.
Kind of had a sound. Obviously,
so beautiful.
Can
his
produce,
voice.
mix, master, like mix his own music, produce his own music, record his own music. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went to the show. Farhan was performing. I was like, oh shit, okay. I walked in. I was expecting like all our friends to be there. Shout out Duya and Seb and stuff.
Shout out DNM.
And it was only me, and I was like, what the fuck? You didn't tell anyone about this? Like, it's your first show. You're performing live. He's like, dude, I'm nervous. I need to have a fucking rum. So I go to the bar, I'm like, nah, let's have rum, let's have Fireball. Ooh. So I had a shot of Fireball each, and it's the first time I met people like Jason and Sheldon and this guy.
Shout out Jason Brown.
So I met all these guys, and I already knew I was going to be in music. Like, I kind of had that idea of like, let's learn about stuff. So I was already like reading up on Scooter Braun and reading the how to make it in the music business or something. The David Pachman, I can't remember the name of that book now.
Well, not the Paul Allen one.
No, that's Artist Management,
which
is another book
Dude,
I just read.
I killed the shit out of that book once
bro,
you told me about that.
Ripped into it.
I love that book. Shout out Paul Allen.
No shit.
Dude, that's crazy.
Changing people's lives over here.
Oh man, yeah, big time.
But so then I realized, okay, Farhan's actually making music, and then we're just doing our own thing. Started sort of helping out DNM, but the DNM brand, for a little bit as well. And then... So
are you part of management on him, or is Farhan managing him?
DNM's taking a bit of a break. For the most part, he's making music still.
Yeah, okay.
But like, the problem with management is it's personal as well. So you've got to really like know when to push in, when to like, let them do their own thing, because creativity is something you can't control.
Of course.
If you control it's fucked. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like anyone who's gone into a label deal that's being controlled, they just don't make good music.
Yeah. I sometimes have to control like the times where we're not creative.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll go into the studio or something and try and be creative, and it doesn't come out creative. It comes out as shit.
Yeah.
Because you're forcing it. And sometimes it's best to like schedule a break. Like I actually scheduled Hammer for 3 weeks off.
Yeah, you told me about this.
Yes. And
crazy. And then he comes back with a hook verse hook, just lays the whole track out.
One go, no warm up, no practice, just
crazy.
One go, one take,
Yeah, he can do that breathless rap and just goes on and on. I'm like, dude, when do you need to breathe? Are you going to stop soon? Like, what's going on
He
here?
can keep going.
I know, right?
I've seen him go for 20 minutes at a time.
It's crazy.
I don't know how he does it. Like, he just like keeps it in his chest.
But that's what I mean. It's almost unexplainable, right? That's what the way I think of creativity. And like,
Exactly.
you, for a man or anyone in the music business, right? Because you're in the business of something creative. You've got to wear both hats of like understanding creatives and creativity, but understanding the business around it as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to move back and forth. So you kind of like, you let someone be who they are, but then you sort of try and mold it in a way that's actually sellable, because if someone's goal to be commercial and make money with music and stuff, then you've got to morph it a little bit of a way. But you sort of keep the creativity big, like let them do what they want to do, but then you channel it in. You sort of like close a little bit of the doors on the side and create like a wide tunnel for them to go through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But I think to the layman person, let me ask you a question that might pull that out a little bit to more of, I think, my listeners that I already do have, so they can hear it as well.
Sure.
What is something that could fundamentally change a person's path from just putting out music to like not really having a like target to something that they're like target driven and you know like
then it becomes a business essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like the brand.
Yeah, so what's something that they could do? Like, because a lot of people are just putting out music and they're wondering why they're not getting a following. And I think you're like Captain Marketing in Perth. And like,
thank you.
You pretty much are like Captain America of marketing. So like, I might put that on your. Oh, dude!
Captain America of marketing.
I'll put your face
Captain
on
Australia.
Captain America for the little logo on the side of the banner.
Fair enough. Let's do it.
Captain Marketing. Yeah, so something fundamental, something easy, something basic that they can take from just putting out music to actually, you know, creating a following.
Yeah. Okay. So again, all this is my opinion. So there's a lot of like wiggle room with advice, especially when it's to do with this. Like I'm not the best person in the world, obviously, for this advice. So wherever you get the advice from, whatever you use, you just use. But in my opinion, there's like kind of two ways that people go about it. There's an artist who's just making music and just happens to go to a show and just puts music out, and they're kind of like people find him just because of the internet and, you know, friends and so on, and they sort of create a small following. They're like, oh wait, I could probably do this, right? So it's almost accidental, not really accidental, but almost is, because they're following their passion. Then you've got other artists, because of, you know, music being a little bit easy to make, with you being able to buy a file on a Mac and buy a mic and just make a track straight away. There's people who have the intention to get there. So they have like, you know, someone like that. I feel like there's a few artists in Perth, but obviously I don't want to mention because we don't know fully where they're going, which one of the two options they're going to. But when they have the intention, then you can morph that into like a business or a brand as well. The thing with managers is, really, manager comes in after an artist starts blowing up a little bit, and they can't manage things around them. Because as an artist, you've got your artist. So the way I look at it is, when you get someone in your team, it's usually a manager first time when you're an independent artist.
Yeah, that's how you start out.
Yeah, the independent artist becomes the artist. If he's producing, becomes a producer. If he's mixing, becomes a mixer. He's replying to his DMs and emails from people who are trying to book him for shows. Yeah, he's trying to market his music. He's trying to distribute it. You know, whether it's even just clicking a few buttons on DistroKid, which is easy, but for some people it could be confusing.
Of course.
And then he gets to a point where it's too much for him to handle. So you've got to, you know, push jobs away, which is why artists either start with a booking agent or a manager to handle a couple things. Yeah. The manager itself is like a term that, it's a vague term for music right now, because managers become labels. Like for Farhan, management is almost like his label.
Of course.
Like we do the distribution, the PR, whatever. Yeah. With Calvin, he's got his own accounts for that. So he's run as an independent artist, and I do the managing of all the things that are his assets. Yeah. So it's different, right?
Isn't that the beautiful thing about what Spotify's done for the community? Right.
It's Spotify and streaming in general. Yeah. Obviously, there's not much money, but the availability for artists is crazy.
100%.
Like you can make a name through it and use that as a way for people.
Independently, dude.
Exactly.
That's the kicker, is that independently you can do this, and you can make a lot of money if you've got a pool around you of small people, and then you get a manager on your
100%.
team, and then you guys work together in unison with your goal and your vision in mind, right?
Yep. There you go. Again, it depends on the artist as well, because I've met artists that know how to market this stuff like really well, who don't even need anyone to do anything for them. And you have some people that want to get one because they have no idea where to start as well. So it's a very umbrella term, management. It just depends on what you are for the artist. So when you got to getting started, is you've got to figure out which one you are. Like, why do you want a manager, or what you need it for? Now, to obviously move up, you've got to learn the industry yourself, because
you can't
you
go
have to
into
make
it
good
without
music.
a business mind.
Yeah, you have to make music, but you also need to have a bit of an idea of what you want to do, market it, or your creativity, or at least tell someone what you want to do.
Exactly.
That's really the next step. So artists can release music a lot and wonder why it's not working. That's because they have the intention to blow up from it, and they haven't worked on that marketing part
of course.
After making the music.
And you can't work on this is one thing. Everybody who listens to this, understand that if you do not understand business, you will not understand marketing, because you have to choose what avenue you're going to take in music and what is going to make you money. So then you need to market to that, I guess, demographic, those people. And that choice that needs to be made before you even put out anything. You're like, what direction are you going? If you put a boat out into open waters and it doesn't have an engine or a steerable engine,
it's going to take where the waves are going, right?
Exactly.
It's going to move where the waves are going.
Exactly. And it might go in the right direction, and it might
Or
not.
it might not.
It might not go fucking anywhere. It might sink. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Most likely it's going to do that.
Exactly. And it's about leaving it a chance. And that's something that I personally don't do, because I'm a bit more of I want to make sure I know what's going on. Like, everything that happens has to be explainable for me. I think of it logically. How do you analyze a certain situation? So having the chance factor goes away. Now, the problem is you've got people on both sides, but the people that do really well, whether it's artists or graphic designers or whatever, they understand the overall business to what they needed to. If you want to be a receptionist at a finance company, you probably should want to understand a bit more about finance before you even get the receptionist job, even if it doesn't entail a job. So like a graphic designer will design something, they've got to keep in mind, how does this turn into the assets we need for the release? So like we need to have obviously ads, we might need to have animations for the canvas, or we might need to put banners up, and they've got to make something that's morphable. They don't just make something and then decide later, but it's like you've got to have a bit of it in mind. And that's what I find does really well.
Of course, you got to keep the vibe in mind the whole time, right?
But it's not always one person. It could be multiple people that do it for you.
Yeah,
so
right.
like my goal would be, my creativity is in marketing. That's my creative outlet, really. Like how to figure out, do something really well, maybe come up with concepts and so on. But whoever's just making music, you just got to find people around you that can like help you pivot into the business as well a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's the big, like, one thing that changed it for me is realizing that working by yourself is such a blockade. Like it stops your progression and it stops pretty much everything. If you feel like you can do everything yourself, like there are points in business and stuff that you need to do everything yourself. You need to pick up the slack because there's no janitor to sweep the floors. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But when it comes down to a lot of it, like the creativity part of things, you kind of need like to emulate others.
Yep.
And you can't just do that off of video. You need people that... I'll work off the 30% rule. Hold on, I got dry mouth. So it's that.
I've been sipping on that whiskey, man.
THC, son. That's good shit. Oh yeah, got that whiskey. All the ice is melted now though. Oh.
Yeah, but it's got a bit of liquid in there, so you'd be cool.
I don't mind some watery shivers.
You kind of need a bit of water and whiskey just to like open up the flavors.
Yeah, it brings out the floweriness of it.
Yeah, because it feels less harsh. Because obviously anything,
Chivas is quite buttery, isn't it?
it feels scotchy. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But
Yeah, scotchy. That's it.
yeah, like Scotch whiskeys, and I prefer Irish whiskeys myself.
Right.
Or
What is your favorite type of whiskey?
Shit, overall, I'd probably say Japanese. Just Suntory region whiskey in general. That's just what I'd want it.
Suntory is beautiful.
Yeah, like anything from that region. So your Yamazaki, your Nikka, your Hibiki.
Yeah.
That's my vibe.
You tried the Roku, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Roku gin's fire.
Oh, it's amazing.
So gin I drink straight.
We might actually take a break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get some of that.
Sounds good. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
Let's do it. We are back. Hello, Raj.
How are we doing?
We're good. We're good. So I want to go back to the subject that we were talking about before.
Yep.
And I can't remember what it was.
We talked about whiskey, and then before that was just how artists can do something to.
Oh yeah. So going back to the original question, what
Yep.
is something artists can do other than just putting out music?
Yep.
Fundamentally, that can change their careers. You said getting a manager. That
Well,
is one stage that's later that
It's
we discussed.
later in the stage for sure. I think it's, as I was talking about before, you have your quote unquote accidental way of doing it where you just blow up, or you have the intentional way. The intentional way is how you learn how to do some things, right? So really the first thing you want to do is get your creatives right, get your sound really good. So get your track mixed well or recorded well, mixed well,
Don't put out
mastered well.
trash music.
Yeah, just because the quality of music on platforms is so good that if yours just doesn't sound right, it's not going to work well with people around. Like you, if you've been.
Can we say that again? Can we say that again?
If your quality of music is not good, the quality of music on every platform is so good that if you have a shit sounding mix and master, it's just not going to work well. Because think about a playlist, right? If you're not your fan base they're not artists, so they don't understand what an unmixed song sounds like or unmastered song sounds like. It's obviously different from when it's fully mastered on platforms compressed to what it is. So you have your Drakes and your, whatever the hell it is on your playlist, and your comes on with a weird sounding mix and master where it's too low or too much fuzz.
Yeah, because they have like Spotify and iTunes and all that. They have an automatic compression.
Yeah.
And if you haven't set yours directly, then they're going to compress it for you, and
it sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible. It's clipping. There's normally saturation that shouldn't be there.
Exactly.
And for people that are like producers and stuff, the one thing that you can use, I think it's called Streamliner from Plugin Alliance. That actually gives you a reading that gives it like perfect to the Spotify. So you can set your limiter to that. And a lot of people don't know that. So check that one out. Shout out Plugin Alliance. Sponsor us. Sponsor us, man. Come on.
Give Dr. Rhodes some shit, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So that's a good thing, right? So like understanding the sound quality actually matters because if you're on a playlist, because people like your track, and then it comes up next to something like Drake that's mastered by somebody who is an expert.
It's mixed by 40 and, mastered by the Jason Joshua level people in the world.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's going to sound different. But it's not really about editorial play. It's about like someone's personal playlist. If it sounds weird when they're just doing something like an activity, cleaning the house, whatever it is.
It's going to change the song.
They're going to be like, what's going on here? So obviously get your sound a bit better. I mean, obviously it's expensive to get a song mixed because your basic mixing process right now, $300-400. Mastering's couple bucks, $100-200, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got your cover art and all that stuff you've got to pay for. So it's not cheap, but just trying to elevate a little bit more just teaches you how your sound feels when it's out, so that you can sort of move around there.
Yeah.
After that, you've got to. The biggest thing to do is just social media. Understand how to do good stories, have a somewhat decent aesthetic, or just be able to post quite a bit. So get content, take photos, do things that put you in places where you look cool if you want to. Because the biggest thing is
and collaborate.
Collaborate for sure. That's a big thing because you can tap into each other's fan bases and following. That's a really big thing. But you have to understand your brand a little bit as well. Like if you're someone just organic for the most part, or if you're, whether you just want to wear whatever you want to wear, like Lil Dicky or something, or you want to be someone that's like always dressed up well and, always on point. You've got to figure that out and start doing it, because it'll teach you how to do it for the future, but it'll help you create your small fan base that way as well. And then also give back, like shout people out, stuff like that. So just get your socials up and running, because social media is the biggest place where, for a small artist, up and coming artist, where you can get a bit of movement. And then just honestly do a bit of research on marketing and just the business side of it, because think of yourself as a founder of a business, right? The founder of a business becomes the janitor, the salesperson, the admin, the tech person, the CTO, the CFO, whatever, because they're running everything themselves. They're wearing different hats, every 10, 15, 20 minutes even as well. And then they get people on. So when the founder gets to the point where he's got no time for making sales calls, he'll hire a salesperson, and they'll hire like an accountant and so on, right? You've got to think of yourself as that if you want to obviously do it. Again, if you don't want to do it and you want to do this as a hobby, that's fair enough as well. It's, nothing's really, it's each to their own. There's no right or wrong, right? But you understand a bit about booking or, getting creative album covers done, or reaching out to people, or invoicing and so on. And then when you have someone on board, you know what to do and you know what you expect from them. Because if you don't have an idea at all, it's not going to work out. Because the music industry is an industry where a manager is an employee more than like the employer.
Yes.
So it's like the other way around. Like the artist is who you work for. Like
Yes.
I work for Calvin technically, or for Roselle.
Yes.
And for Farhan.
Yes.
They don't work for me, I work for them. That's how management should really be, because that's what sets up the metrics. Because if the artist blows up, then the manager does well, because it's done that way. It's just built that way.
Of course.
But yeah, so like I think it just comes down to, you just got to learn a bit more about it. Like just move on, see what the trends are.
Path.
Exactly. See what the trends are. Choose the path. Yeah. Understand how to pitch your music to Spotify for artists. Obviously, if you're very up and coming, you might not get playlisted, but you've got to understand how to do it. Learn a bit of copywriting so that, when someone asks you for an interview, or something like that's written, at least you can do well. Shout out to actually Perry P.
Shout out Perry P.
So one of the thing about Perry is,
man.
so when I did his release for On the Low, which was I think about April, May last year, somewhere there.
Yes.
I do mock interviews so that people have an idea who the artist is above the music, because a press release usually doesn't have all that information.
We can do them now.
Yeah, there you go. He had the best freaking answers, man. Like, I swear to God, if you just Google Perry P On the Low, and you'll be able to find some interviews there that they kind of posted stuff about it. He had the best answers.
Yeah.
But he probably thinks like that.
He's an insightful man.
Yeah,
sure.
like, oh no, but just the way, like copywriting, like the way he explained his sound was so crazy that I've never seen anyone like that I've worked with, like, explain their sound really well.
Right.
In a way that is so captivating more than real. So it's almost like sales. It's like very captivating to it. So you've got to do stuff like that a bit more. And then just posting and all that as well. Like, don't expect to not post and expect your friends to find you. Because your friends are people who don't listen to music. Like, people are not in the industry. Like, give an example of, I've got 600 followers or whatever on my Instagram. I can't expect all 600 people to listen to a song that I put up from a local artist. Like, I've had friends I hang out with a lot that are not in the music industry, but they can't comprehend the music I'm making because it's not familiar to them.
Yes.
So don't expect on that. You just got to find a small target and just work on that, Get a fan one by one. Just accumulate. Do shows.
That's what I was going to mention before. A lot of people focus on those large gains. And I think they bum themselves out a little bit by doing that.
Yep.
And one way that you can actually gain a little bit more self-respect, because sometimes you do lose a little bit in this industry, is just focus on the people that are already like supporting you
Exactly, and build on there.
and
Like,
build on that.
build a foundation, because
Sure.
look, you can be on A1 hip hop or Rap Caviar for that matter. Obviously, us on artists on Rap Caviar is pretty hard to get, but you can be on there. But if you've only got like 2,000 followers on Instagram with fuck all content and no brand deals and stuff, you're not gonna make money. If no one's gonna know who you are
Yes.
and just hear a song, it's not gonna help.
Yes.
It's working in all aspects. So when I meet artists that I work with from the PR campaigns and stuff, they're like, my goal is to get on a playlist. Obviously, it's everyone's goal because you get streaming numbers that way.
Of course.
But people think about it too much. The good thing about Spotify
And
is
then
actually,
it just ruins it all.
yeah, Spotify show the amount of streams you get, obviously, right?
Yeah,
Apple Music doesn't. That's why Spotify is doing really well for that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you can have a million streams, but if you have no
None-
one giving you brand deals
Yeah.
and shows,
And nobody like in your local vicinity. If you've only got
Yeah.
like 2% coming from your local vicinity.
if no one fucks with you, you're not going to make money.
Exactly.
Because it's a brand that you're building at the end of the day. It's not the music. Like, streaming money is not going to make you enough money to live off music unless your money bag, you're making like, I think 7 million last year. But he got 1 billion plus streams or something overall from his projects and all that. You can't, it's hard to get there because forget the 1%, it's the 0.0001% that can make that much money. Getting there is obviously hard as hell. So you've got to build on all fronts. Like, you got to do your shows locally, get a fan base, interact with people around, collaborate in the studio with different people, work with different people. Obviously, focus on the streaming numbers, but then do ads, try get brand deals, work with like creatives around you. You've got to do everything on all fronts to start with
In unison.
to build the foundation. Because a label, you have 1 billion streams, right? The label might sign you because the algorithm might pick you up. But if you've only got 500 followers, they'll be like, who is this guy? I can't get him a show
Yeah.
because no one knows who he is. They're not actually wanting to go see it. You've got to build a super fan, is what I call it. The super fan is someone who's willing to invest money into your creativity. If you don't have any of those, like a super fan is a guy that will buy your show tickets or your merch or something. You've got to
Right.
create those people because that's where the money really is. But that's where your foundation is. Like when you have like someone who wears a Tyler the Creator t-shirt and is buying $400 tickets to go to his show, he's got a massive super fan base. Like they're there to, and he can convert, that sales funnel
Yeah.
as well. You've got to build that. And the
And
biggest thing is
easily too, because they've already converted before they even got there.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
they're focused on it. Like
Yeah,
the
of
same
course.
way that these guys were selling tapes in Compton or whatever it is, right?
sure.
They were building that local fan base that knew people at the game before he was making music, before he was signed.
There was one artist that was actually promoting himself as his own manager. So he would give them the tape as somebody else, but it was him. And he would say, check out my artist. And
That's actually a really good idea.
yeah. So almost
Perception, right?
Yeah, it's perception, right? So it's and he was like dressed in a suit and like, yeah. And
Man,
then they
I don't know
listened
the
to
manager that dresses in suits anymore, unless you're
Oh,
like a
I'm
manager.
talking
of a-
back in the 80s
Oh,
or
yeah, for
something.
sure,
so
for sure.
it looks like schmick,
If you're an artist manager, don't wear a suit. I wouldn't take you seriously.
No doubt. Like one color,
Wear
one
a black
color.
t-shirt and Air Force Ones. That's what the industry calls
Exactly. Well, I do podcasts now, so I'm in slippers
Yeah,
as well,
fair enough.
so it doesn't matter.
for. I'm wearing that Jordans. Nah.
I drink from chalices though, so it's kind of fun.
Do you, man? Do you?
Oh, I do.
It's your podcast.
Exactly, man. Yeah, so that was a lot of information, man. And
Yeah,
I
it's-
love that.
It's very rambly, but there's a lot of stuff because I'm passionate about this. So I wouldn't give you a step 1 to 12. I'm going to give you information. You take from it what you will, because I believe that wherever you are in your journey, you'll pick up on whatever you need to pick up on for the next step. And then in a year, 5 years later, when you get Spotify tutorials and stuff like that, you can come at me and ask me for more information. Hopefully, I'm 5 years ahead as well, so I have that information for you.
Yes.
But it's just one of those
I
things.
love that, bro. That's like a book, right? And
Yeah.
So when you read a book,
You
you take
pick up
the
what
information
you need. Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point in time. That's one thing that people can take away from this is like learn what you need to when you need to. Don't try and think about things that you need to learn. You're gonna fuck yourself over.
Yeah, because it's like that book. I don't know if you've read it, but it's Robert Greene's Mastery.
I have.
So before you even become an apprentice, you have to have the technical knowledge. So you've just got to have you've got to start with it, man. You've got to learn and always keep learning. Like if you're not learning, you're dying. That's the way some people put it.
Tree.
Exactly. You've got to learn the technical knowledge and understand the layout of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
The layout of the industry you're in, the game you're in.
Yeah.
Or else if you don't know the rules, then how do you play it?
For sure. It's critical.
Mm-hmm.
You literally like, you can't do much if you don't know the game.
Yeah.
I remember watching AFL for the first time when I was like 7 years old. Or
Still don't watch it.
Yeah, like I wasn't paying attention, but I was like, what the fuck are they doing? They're going after this little egg-shaped ball, and like it was just rolling around, and then they fumble, and then they kick it between two like posts, and then everyone celebrates. And you're like, I feel like this is less exciting than what the crowd makes it out to be. And then as you get older, you realize that simple games are the things that really and it's things that everyone can understand. And I think that's what makes up a good song as well, and good marketing. Simple, but everyone can understand it,
yeah.
and get around it and emotionally understand it as well. Because most campaigns these days, I just see ads put up with just a soundtrack with either their canvas art or just like a clip from their music video,
stuff,
or a loop. And there's no like emotional background to it. The ones that like do carry some emotional background are the ones that have a story, that really grab you.
Story behind the music and the creation of it, or the brand. But the biggest thing is, especially if you don't take anything else that we talk about today, take this one thing. As soon as your song comes out, don't stop marketing it. That's just the start. You have to market before, but also market after. The amount of people I see that go quiet the day after the song comes out, or after the stories go quiet when everyone reposts their stuff, is so much that it's insane. Like you need to market your music whether it's out or not out. That's the biggest thing, I think. If you were to take one thing, as soon as a song comes out, that's just a start. You've got to market more than that. But
there's a lot of structure that Paul Allen talks about in that.
Exactly,
book,
in artist management. But shout out to like Dinge as well, because that whole team with Dinge and Dustin, even Mason Dane on the other side with that remix.
Yeah, that track bangs, man.
We're still working. And
I only heard clips from it so far.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the whole track, but that sounds
so
crazy.
Catchy. So catchy.
Crazy.
But we've only just started like the marketing. I'm still working on, getting blogs up and running, playlisting, all that kind of stuff is still working now, because we understand that it's post-marketing that matters as well. But we'll talk about obviously the campaigns in a bit as well. I can give you some ideas on what I did with both of them. But
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's the one thing. If you want to take out the one thing, don't stop marketing your music even if it's out.
Yeah. In the beginning, because I haven't been doing this for so long, I kind of failed to do that. But now
you learn. I mean, my first couple of releases, when I was kind of doing this, like I did the same. So you got to learn it. And as I said, it's a learning thing. So if you stop learning, you're moving back because someone else is learning at the same time. But when you're not learning, and then they're going to surpass you, or they're going to be the person to go to, and so on.
Yeah. Okay, so you've done a lot of work, man, and it's kind of crazy.
It's been a busy couple of years.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Because when I first met you, it was probably like 2 years ago.
It was around there, yeah.
Yeah,
and about 2 years in the studio with Corey. Actually. Yeah, I remember that.
And then it kicked off.
Yeah.
And then it really kicked off. And
because I was already in it. But then I think a few months after that was when everything started wrapping up again. Because you keep at it, but you feel like you have the lows, but then the lows eventually end, and you have to move up. Yeah. So it's cyclical, I guess. That
realization, we called it peaks and troughs.
Yeah, peaks and troughs, exactly.
Yeah.
The sine curve.
Yeah. So I've got a weird way of thinking about that, actually, and it's kind of my own little thing. So
can you hear it?
Yeah, so peaks and troughs, right? So think of it like you go up, land, so like a diagram, right?
Yeah.
Peak and trough, peak and trough. The only thing that can get you out of a trough really is awareness, okay? Knowing where you are. And it's almost like you're floating, right? Awareness is like you're floating. You know exactly what's going on. And if you're floating, I used to float in like my old meditation days, and it would be in water, right? You'd float in water.
Yeah.
So it fluid. So blood, sweat, and tears, right? They get you through. They float you out of a trough into a peak. And
exactly. And then when the peak comes and you feel like you're going down, and you've got to figure out a way to not trough again.
Exactly.
Or at least get to the trough quickly
Well,
before you lose too much.
what it is because you have succumbed to the struggle, right? And you've let it take over your awareness, and then you start reacting instead of taking action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really the consequence of, I guess, being of low awareness into a situation where you've probably been before, or you could take lessons from other situations. But let's not go into that. Let's stay this. But yeah, that's my kind of little thing is like blood, sweat, and tears is going to get you out of you need to do the work. That's what I'm getting at. You need to do the work. And like a lot of people get stuck in their emotional trap, which is, oh damn, I'm not doing the work. I'm sad about not doing the work. I'm going to sit and make myself like stew in my emotions, and then think about being sad about not doing the work, which is the consequence of not doing the work, which makes you sad about not doing the work. And that's the cycle.
Exactly. You've got to break out of it. I ran out of
breath.
Yeah. You've got to break out of it.
Yeah. You need to break out of
it.
Well. Yeah, and you break out of it by doing the work. You do the work that you're thinking about doing.
Exactly. Because you still learn it.
Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
He has a book called Obstacle is the Way. And he also has Ego is the Enemy. And those two books really fucking changed me, man.
Yeah, man. They're really good.
Really, really good.
I've only skimmed through Ego is the Enemy, but Obstacle is the Way, I read it. Yeah. Really good book.
Insane.
Kind of gives you a bit of a perspective because, again, we're still learning. We're trying to get to that level where we have a framework that we can do anything we want to do with. But we still get to points where, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how to move past it. But eventually something does. With time, everything heals.
Yeah.
Time heals all wounds, right? So you kind of just move on and you get better and better at something. As long as you put the time and the effort in, you've got to sacrifice something, right? So
yeah. Do you know that's the thing? If you don't sacrifice it, the thing that you're not willing to sacrifice for becomes sacrificed.
Yes. Because the universe plays it. Actually, Scooter Braun talked about this in that new podcast that came out a couple of days ago with Lewis Howes. He's talked about the universe, right? So,
shout out Scooter Braun if you ever hear this. That'd be awesome.
The goat.
He seems like a really nice guy, man.
Yeah, but he talked about the universe to eventually teach you the lesson that you didn't want to learn. I mean, paraphrasing, that's really what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to be learned from stoicism and philosophy.
For sure.
And approaching any goal, obstacle, anything in life, even just a relationship, you can go into it with a reflection attitude. And as long as you're reflecting on people, on yourself through the eyes or judgment of people that you can mitigate within your own mind, like people that you read about in books or their own perceptions in books.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about books, I'm talking about videos and like people that you can emulate throughout your life.
Just learnings in general, right?
Just learnings in general. Mm-hmm. If we can, as a whole, as a community, even just in the music industry, this is what I'm trying to like do with my group.
Yeah.
If we can get ourselves to a point of situational awareness where we're putting out things that are authentic to us and really, really trying to focus on the group that is around us, benefiting each other.
Yep.
That would obviously incur a positive increase in attitude.
Yeah, because overall everyone moves up.
Exactly.
You gotta move with your team.
Exactly. Yeah. What is it? Rising tides raise all ships.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, rising tides raise all ships.
Something around those lines.
Yeah.
Y'all can Google it.
This whiskey's going through me. Can we take another break? I need to pee.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet. Sorry. We'll be back in a sec. 3, 2, 1. We are back, bro.
What's good?
Sorry about that. I really need to pee.
That's all good, man.
Subsequently, I got really fucking high too.
Yeah, I had another drink.
I'm on another planet, bro. This is crazy. But I wanted to
That's even better.
I know, dude. It's like 2 planet things. Like, bro, so your campaigns that you've worked on, the My City one,
Thank you. Well,
Fucking
shout
well
out to,
done, bro.
Shout out to everyone that was involved. For the
You
most
were
part.
involved.
I was, but yeah, shout out to everyone that was involved. I mean,
Of course.
it's
Shout out to
probably
Reed.
the biggest Perth hip hop independent artist song there's been in a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, it crossed a million earlier, early in the year
Yeah.
as well. But yeah,
Hold on. Let's just say that again.
it crossed a million
A million
streams on Spotify.
Think
So
about
I'm
how many
guessing-
people that is. There's 1.4 million people in Perth. 1.6,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I mean, it's probably more overall because I'm not obviously management, so I don't know the Apple Music numbers and Tidal and
that's right,
Deezer,
okay.
and it's just Spotify 1 million. So,
You're just part of that Spotify group?
well, no, I mean, I did the campaign for it.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
handheld
for sure.
across, obviously. So we did the PR, but then handheld the strategy overall for management and like the creative and stuff. So they
So
had.
how did you handle that?
So, obviously, that the Sector 6 team, which is Reed and Sheldon.
Yeah.
I think Reed does a management.
Shout out
business.
Sheldon Yaman. You legend.
Yeah. So I did a Perry P track just before that, like a month or two before that, called On the Low.
Can you just pull the mic closer?
Oh, yeah, let's do it. How about that?
More.
Cool. More?
Yes, please.
Easy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, nice and crisp.
So I did a Perry P track a month or two before that. So with My City,
What one was that?
On the Low.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we
On
just
the low.
talked about that. Yeah.
I've been on the low, been trying to get it with the crew.
Yeah.
So
I've been on a low, been trying to get it with the crew.
you did it way better than me.
Yeah,
There you
bro.
go.
Come on, mate.
So yeah, My City was the one that just sounded dope. The hook was super long and obviously repeated itself, so like you can grab onto yourself from most of the track when you listen to it straight away.
Yeah.
But we also knew that it was a big track for Perth because it was a collaboration from Mars and Yami, 88 Yami, and it just felt like the whole mindset around it was like, this is going to be a big track. We just got to push it hard. The video is cool. Like everything was done. Like the whole video for it. There's obviously the song, animation, album cover, all that was set up properly. And I think it was sitting on it for a while. So from what I remember, I think they made the song a year before that or something.
Yeah, okay.
So they were sitting on it for a bit.
Wow.
Campaign came my way. Obviously, we did it. I just wanted to help because and be part of it and just, help out someone that, should deserve to get the recognition, the streams. The concept was, the way I tackle things, I look at everything situationally because obviously you have your mental framework. Everyone who's a business person or creative, you have your knowledge, but really what matters is how you apply it to the situation.
Yeah.
Right? So with that one, I knew Mars, 6KMC, whatever they've done, it's really amazing because he's got a massive local fan base. Like I was walking through Metro City from the entrance to the backstage door, which is on the side of where the VIP bars are, with Mars. For this, I got them on a Metro City. It was a club night by the guys that run Cake and Playground and stuff at Metro City. Hip hop events for the most part. I got them to come and do the track.
Nice.
On Metro City stage, in front of a few
That's
hundred
awesome.
people. But I remember walking from the entrance into the back, the side door to go backstage. You know what that door is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I swear to God, he got stopped 7-8 times by different people to stop him, just say what's up. So he's got a massive local fan base. I knew that the repost is going to work well. Now, everything I say about how Spotify playlisting and stuff works is all theories. It's not really, vetted. So these are just things I've come up with or I've read about that I've tried. The idea is the more there is, the name of the artist and the song around the internet, the algorithm tracks it a bit more, so it knows it's more popular. So it, pushes it up in algorithms and playlists and stuff like that. The day of the release, I said, let's really do the video, release the video the day before the song comes out. So Thursday, 6 p.m. is when they released the video, or we released the video. And obviously that night, so Friday is when the song comes out, but it goes live in Perth at 9 p.m. because of the time difference. And promote the premiere for it. Now, no one really believed in the song so much. I didn't get actual premiere from a platform, like, you know, a blog or something. So we premiered the music video as our own on Eddie Yami's channel. And obviously got Eddie Yami and Mars on a live and stuff like that. But the amount of fucking reposts that we got that they had into the song, there must have been about 50 click-throughs in the stories and stuff.
Lovely.
So it's very big numbers. And obviously reaching out to the right people at Spotify and all that came in. But the fact that it was so Perth, quote-unquote Perth viral
Yes.
was crazy because so many people, like Mars has a big following.
Yes.
And obviously like capitalizing on the fact that the reposts and stuff come in was a really big thing. So
Yeah.
the song came in live. It was New Music Friday and 2-3 other playlists. A week later, they upgraded the playlist because, in my opinion, Spotify's, again, it's not like a generic, like it's not actually said by Spotify, but in my opinion, Spotify's playlisting is almost like tiered, right? So you've got your like the drip and mellow styles and stuff, and then you go up and you have like a slightly higher playlist with more followers and more numbers.
Like Viral 50 and stuff.
And then you got your A1 hip hop and stuff, which is the top tier for, you know, Australian hip hop.
Yes.
So it was in like the mid tier sort of playlists.
And you guys got the cover of A1.
Yeah, that was like 3 weeks in. Because again, the idea is you don't fucking stop marketing music once it comes out.
You never stop it.
Exactly. So as soon as it came out, we started still reaching out to people, moving on. The numbers were really good because it was such a big track. So the first week numbers would have been really, really good. Because even New Music Friday was on the lower side. It wasn't even in the middle or the higher side. It was on the lower side.
Yeah.
And theoretically, well, from what the rumors say, it's like the higher you are, the more important the song is.
Bro.
So it was on the lower side, which means it did well first week.
It moved up though.
Yeah, so it doesn't, New Music Friday is only for the week, right? But it did well first week, and then it got upgraded. And then a week after, it got covered. So someone at Spotify reached out to the team and was like, we need like their press kit to get out the photos. Placed it. And then then it got to A1 Hip Hop, I think 2 or 3 weeks later. But at the same time, it was on Viral 50 Australia or something like that as well, which is crazy because the viralness happens, I think.
Did you do the pitch for that, by the way? The Spotify pitch?
I think so, but I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
So far back, I probably have it in my like thing somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
In my drive. But we essentially used the fact that you can virally market it, and then it just got placed really well. And once it got placed really well, the idea is to market even more.
Of course.
So then after that, the Metro City thing happened, which was really cool because all the stories and all the performances and stuff like that came about. And then as soon as my sort of job was kind of done when I moved back a little bit, they got shortlisted for that A1 up and coming artists thing as well. And they did really well on that. And then AU Dollars had a competition every year where they sort of like knockout stage artists, and then you have to go vote for an artist and stuff. And they won that because they spent so much time marketing it from, you know, different fan bases and stuff. So, I mean, obviously the consistent numbers, it's still on playlist, I think, right now. I think it's still in the drip as well. But,
oh, nice.
I mean, it's just like, yeah, with that, my job was like with the PR and stuff as well was good because it got like 10, 12, you know, articles, posts around, you know, Australia, the US, UK, LA, like, shout out to Hype of Life in LA, like, it's like a magazine brand.
Okay.
Still reach out, still talk to the founder of it, and they love the track as well. And they only posted 2 or 3 weeks after the song came out, which is about...
I love that when like support comes from like another country.
Exactly.
It's so nice.
So
it's awesome.
Yeah, so, you know, a good amount of work was put in about it. But it's about marketing the song. So situationally, I knew there's fan bases that we can capitalize on. That's really what it was. But then also I knew that the algorithm was really well because like if you release a music video before and it shows so much clout, people at you know, DSPs or Apple Music, Spotify and stuff will see that it's a popular song because the analysts will tell them it's it's going to be a popular song and will place you. So you get the numbers that way as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, again, situational.
Dope. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
That's
and then
a
obviously...
crazy campaign that you did. What other one did you do?
So right now we're in the middle of Dinge, Wish I Knew.
Oh, yeah.
The remix, which is Mason Dane on it as well.
Awesome.
That one's really cool because I didn't have to like push the fact that we're going to market after the song comes out. So the team is really good. Dustin and Dinge are super like great to work with because they've been in the industry for long. Like Danger's been releasing music since his first Spotify song was about 2016, I think.
Right.
And he's been making music since about 8-9 years old from when I had a conversation with him.
Yeah, okay.
So back when he was not even in Australia, like he was making music. So he's very experienced. Like he's done the few years of no management and understanding how to do everything himself. So when Dustin comes in, like they've just elevated more. And then they're working with other people now with like me and they're elevating even more. So it's doing really well.
Well
for
done,
them, from
Dinge.
what I know. It's hard on the PR side right now just because there's so much noise in the industry. But that song's fire. It's hard to say, but it's like so bright, energetic and bright, but it's super catchy. There's something about it that just lives in my head rent free. When I heard it first time, I listened to the song a few times to sort of get in the rhythm of it when I do a campaign.
Yeah.
And I remember messaging Dinge the day after. I was like, dude, what the hell, man? Your freaking vocals are in my head the whole time. What's going on here? It's really good. So
That's awesome.
yeah, we're in the middle of that. A few more weeks of work to be done. And then, Rizal is going to drop in music soon. So, so we're going to be doing that after.
Can you talk about any this time?
I'm his manager, surely. No. We're looking to do the first single in about a month and a bit, maybe.
Yeah, cool.
So we're just finalizing some of the little bits for it.
Ooh-wee.
Artwork and animations and
I can't
content.
fucking wait, dude.
You've heard the song as well, though.
Oh, yes.
So you know what song it is.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're working on that right now.
Fuck it, dude. I can't wait.
But yeah, like while that's happening, you've got like just so much happening around. Like there's with like I haven't mentioned Reggie Fly, but
For a while.
shout out to that guy because he's done for me as well. He's done a lot. It's weird because no one knows who he is. I don't think you do as well.
Well, I've only talked about him one other time.
But you don't know who he is. Right?
No, I've never met him.
Yeah, he's an anonymous.
He's on the flyer.
If people don't know who he is, he's an anonymous R&B artist, and it's very like.
And he's good.
Yeah, it's a very lo-fi Toronto R&B sound, but no one knows who he is. It's like the whole concept is it's anonymous because it's about the music. It's not about him or the brand.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
him as a person, he's fucking smart, man. He's just marketing's on point. He's like framework of how he tackles things, just situations, really amazing. And like he brought me on to a couple different scenes that I didn't think I'd be part of.
Do you reckon
So
he'll
shout
come
out to
on
him.
if I give him like a
Actually, I don't know.
balaclava or something?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Maybe in the future. I don't know. We can
Maybe.
definitely try it out.
We'll try.
But, yeah,
We'll try.
you got to speak to his manager.
Yeah, I will. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
You know his manager is Jason, right? Jason.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, easy.
So
Dude, me and Jason will just hang out one weekend. One weekend, bro. I'll end up podcasting both of them. You watch.
dude, you're probably not going to get close to Reggie Fly. But I mean, again,
Oh,
like,
probably
shout
not.
out to
But
him.
fuck, I can have some confidence in myself.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. But I just feel like he's a person that doesn't do it. However,
Dude,
he's
I can turn his
fucking talented.
camera off and just talk to him.
True.
Like, put some auto tune so he sounds, and put some reverb on it.
Make him sound like he's doing like I don't
Put
know,
everything in E
feeling some
minor.
way.
Yeah.
Feeling some way. No,
So, yeah, fuck. I want to thank you, bro, for coming on.
that's all good, man. Happy to. It's fun.
This is crazy. Like, you've shared so much information, and I'm sure everyone can take away like something either large or small from this. I'm definitely going to listen to this again and again. I'll be going over this many times.
You don't need to just call me up, man. We'll work on something. But
course,
I mean,
of course.
honestly, like it's
Well, we've discussed it now, and I'm publicly going to say this. You're going to be the manager of this podcast,
sure.
which
I can't go back from it now.
yeah, you can't go back from it now. So
No, but I'm happy to help. Like honestly, not
Of
just you,
course.
but anyone that wants to work or just get some advice and stuff. Like I try to help as many people as possible, just because
I'm very much the same.
it's not about like what I know. It's just if I know something that someone doesn't at the time, I'm happy to put in the work and help as well. It's
as
a
long
long
as
game for me.
as long as those people are like genuine about going after their shit. Like, it's very obvious about someone who's like just hitting you up and they've got like one video that they've put up. It's like, come on, man. But if it's talent,
whether you're
it's
starting or
talent.
you're developer or established as an artist, like I don't think it matters, but it's it's not
I'm
reciprocation.
not being like
Yeah, but like
feeble there. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying, you know, like there is something that comes with being established. Try and establish yourself before like spreading out. You want to be your own vibe.
Yeah,
You know, I think that's what we want to get at it in this is like
I'm with
stay
that.
genuine, like
yeah, for sure.
through it all. Like as long as you can be yourself through it all, like you're gonna change and accept the changes. But as long as you can show that through your music, your marketing, and your business, you'll do very well.
Nah, fair enough.
Be kind. It matters.
Yeah, it's the long game. I guess the idea is to get it to stay in the industry as long as possible and work on this and make a living out of this and
Correct.
make an impact, because music has been a big part of mine, but also everyone that's in the industry.
Not just
Whether they're
everyone in
making
the
music
industry. Everybody.
Yeah, anyone that listens to music would understand how powerful it is. You know, you have emotion change because of music, and music is attached to a lot of different things, celebrations, sad times, whatever it is. So it's just, ever since I listened, like, I was a big music fan from back in the day, but the thing about this is like, there's a concept from this guy called Tai Lopez. I don't even know why I'm bringing
Love
it up, but
Tai Lopez, man. Love him.
he said that
I probably spent like
a lot of time, right?
$600 on his like
Kind of like-
seminars
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
But a lot of his stuff is said from the books he reads and all that as well. But
Of
like he
course,
talked
yeah.
about a concept where it's like you're probably most passionate about the thing you wanted to do when you're 14 years old, because that's when your IQ peaks. Just that you're not wise enough. The world doesn't make you wise enough. And going back to it, like I was trying to DJ and trying to produce music and listen to music all day and night at the age of 14. So
I was
it was
playing
almost
guitar
natural to
and
get to the
singing,
point.
brother.
Here you go.
Yeah.
It's almost like you've just got to, when you become a person that keeps thinking about life and stuff a lot more, you want to see some quote unquote fulfillment. And I just wanted to go back to music. Like I'm a big finance person, as you know, like we did obviously uni in finance and business person, and I
Yeah.
love my valuations and marketing and all that stuff. So I could have done commerce. Music is just where I wanted to be. So I'm trying to make it as much as possible.
That's awesome, bro.
But yeah, shout out
Fuck.
to everyone that I work with as well. Like there's so many names that we want to name, but like there's so many amazing people here in Perth that are doing stuff.
We're all
Just no one knows who they are. Like they're
Dude,
sort of the background as well.
the thing is, it takes just a little bit of effort from each artist to show that we have presence, and then people that are interested, it won't take much for them to catch on. Okay,
Eventually, we're going to get to the point where
I think that's exactly what it is.
we're going to have numbers and movement and artists popping off to the worldwide stage. Like there's a lot of small artists getting a lot of Australian recognition from Perth, but international is obviously where it's at, because obviously the biggest artists in the world are worldwide.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's getting to that level. But no matter what it is, we'll always be in this industry somehow, whether it's from Real Ones or Mad Friends or Related, or me just working with artists on, just different concepts, or whether I get a job at a radio or a label, whatever it is.
I
still
think
be
whether
here.
we like it or not, we're hustlers, and we're
Have to be, man.
and we're going to like make it happen. Whether like I just have it in me that it's going to happen, that we're going to get this done
Yep.
in the big time.
Exactly.
I have it in like it's already happened. We've just like we're taking the steps now to make sure it happens.
Exactly. And you talked about this as well. Like you said something before we started the podcast, and you're like, I love my job. And I'm like, is that a affirmation? And you're like, no, I'm just saying because I know I love
get
it.
to do this, bro.
Exactly. That's exactly what you said. And I think anyone that wants to do this needs to do that, because a lot of work put in with no benefit and reward in sight for a lot of years. Like any other industry, but sometimes you just need to remind yourself that it's probably going to, work out one day, just so you have the energy to push on
And
when
just
in the down
remember,
times.
you're not going to be young forever. There is
Exactly.
a clock to life.
Exactly.
And if you have a goal to make it in somewhere, and it takes up mastering a skill,
Yep.
and there is a concept of 10,000 hours, if you want to do that in multiple times in your life where you feel like you're fulfilling certain parts of your journey, and one of them's music, well, then you need to take the time to do that.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what you want to do in life, no matter what industry, what problem you're trying to solve, whether you want to work under someone or be an entrepreneur, there's a level of like excellence you have to do, obviously, take to get to, the point where whatever you do becomes alchemy almost. It's like,
Yeah.
it's so natural to your being. It's like when you talk to like 65-year-old hedge fund managers and, you know, people who've been in finance for a long time, for example, they've almost got this weird way of like being so natural to what they say. Like, man, listen to Warren Buffett speak for an hour and you'd be like, how crazy is this? Because they become almost alchemists of what they do. And the goal is to get there, I guess, at least for me. It's not about the money you make or the contacts you have or whatever. It's about the excellence of whatever you do. So you can create that overall impact, you know, through your career and your life. So
well said. Listen, brother, thank you very much for
that's right.
coming in.
As I said, I'm only here because it's you. So thank you for having me as well, man.
Dude, you're a legend. I
Easy,
love
bro.
you. Take
Thank
care
you.
of yourself.
Cheers. Bye.